Our movie starts with a working girl and teacher at a school named Gemma. It shows that the kids love her because she plays and engages in various activities with them. After Gemma finishes her work, she meets her friend who asks her if she found a house or not. However, Gemma tells her that she's still looking. Later, she goes to meet her friend Tom, who works as a staff member at the same school, and it's evident that they have a sweet connection and like each other. Then they go together to a real estate office to find a house to get married in. The employee there is named Martin, and they notice that his behavior and speech are not normal. At that time, Martin offers them an apartment in the new development called Yonder. He informs them that the apartment there are quite suitable for young people and reasonably priced. Martin suggests that they go and see the development themselves, but they hesitate, and Gemma realizes that this is not the house they are looking for. However, Martin insists on taking them, and they decide to go. He goes to get the keys to his car, and indeed, Gemma and Tom follow Martin in the car. When they reach the development, they notice that all the houses there are the same in shape, color, and very well organized. They then get out of the car in front of house number 9, and Martin takes them on a tour inside. He continues to behave and laugh in a very strange way. After that, he offers them drinks and snacks, but they politely refuse. Later, they go upstairs and enter the children's room. Martin is surprised that they don't have children and makes a sarcastic remark. Then he takes them to show the backyard. Suddenly, Martin and his car disappear, so Tom and Gemma decide to leave quickly before he returns. When they exit the house, they get into their car and drive between the houses, but they find themselves in front of house number 9 repeatedly as if they are stuck in a loop. Tom takes over driving for Gemma, but they still end up in front of house number 9. When they check their phones, they realize there is no network. They keep driving in circles until night falls, and they run out of gas in front of house number 9. They decide to leave the car and enter the house, intending to eat and drink the things Martin offered them. However, nothing tastes right to them. After that, they decide to spend the night in the house. The next day, Tom goes up to the roof and is shocked to find many identical houses. They decide to move towards the sun until they reach the end. They start moving, distancing themselves from the numerous gardens until night falls, and they reach a house. Inside, they find light, and to their surprise, it's also house number 9, the one they had been in. In front of the house, they discover a box with food and drinks. Perplexed, Tom decides to use the box as a makeshift fire in the hope that the smoke will attract attention. However, this plan fails. Suddenly, they find themselves lying on the sidewalk in front of the house. When they wake up again, the house is unchanged, as if the fire never happened. They also find another box with a baby inside, along with a message that instructs them to raise the child and they will be released. Surprisingly, the baby rapidly grows into what seems like a 10-year-old, but with the voice of a teenager. He mimics everything Gemma and Tom do, asking Gemma to measure his height. Although he's only been around for 98 days, his body looks like that of a 10-year-old, while his voice resembles that of a teenager. The boy starts crying like a hungry child, and they all sit down to eat. Afterwards, they go outside, leaving the box in front of the house. They watch to see who will move it, and Tom and Gemma notice that the young boy always observes them closely. Afterward, Tom lights a cigarette, and when he finishes it, he throws it on the grass. Suddenly, he notices that the grass is moving in a strange way. Tom grabs a shovel to uncover what's beneath the grass. At that moment, Gemma notices that the trash box has disappeared, and when she asks the boy if he moved it, he doesn't respond. At night, after Tom finishes digging, he tells Gemma that he didn't find anything useful and that the boy continues to watch them all night. The next day, while Tom continues to dig, Gemma is doing laundry and the boy is watching a peculiar video on the television, but he seems very focused. As night falls, Tom continues digging and he joins Gemma in the car. He reveals he likes sitting in the car because it's the only thing that smells and feels real in this development. Surprisingly, the radio starts working and they start dancing to the music. During this time, the boy is watching them and joins them in dancing. Despite Tom's resistance, the boy insists and accidentally bumps into Tom, causing him to fall and hit his head on the sidewalk. Tom gets angry, grabs the boy, and throws him to the ground. Gemma rushes to check on the boy, but he seems perfectly fine, laughing and continuing to dance as if nothing happened. Gemma becomes concerned about his strange behavior. During bedtime, Gemma takes the boy to the children's room and explains to him that he cannot sleep with them anymore and that they won't always be around. She tries to make him understand that she is not his mother. After that, she exits the room, but the boy screams loudly. Gemma re-enters and scolds him because she did everything he wanted. Yet, she doesn't understand what he really wants. He tells her that he loves acting that way and wants her to be his mother. The next day, the boy wakes them up with his loud screams, making Gemma frustrated. They all sit down for breakfast and Gemma notices that Tom is depressed. She asks him if he plans to continue digging and he confirms his intention to do so. He leaves the breakfast table to resume digging. At night, Tom and Gemma are awakened by the loud noise from the television. They go down to turn it off, but the boy refuses and keeps it on. The following day, the boy continues to scream during breakfast due to hunger. Tom takes him and locks him in the car, but it becomes difficult for Gemma. Tom gets upset with her, conveying that the boy controls them and makes them behave as if they are his parents. He emphasizes that he should be the one caring for the boy. The boy, revealing he's not human like them, asks Gemma not to sympathize with him anymore. She takes the car keys and goes to release the boy because it's hard for him, apologizing for what happened. At night, Tom continues digging, hears a sound from the ground and keeps digging to reach the source. Meanwhile, Gemma explains the concept of dreams to the boy, who has never dreamed before, and she sleeps beside him. The next day, Tom wakes up finding himself in the hole he dug. He enters the house coughing and refuses to speak to the boy and Gemma during breakfast. Later, the boy, Gemma, and Tom go to the garden, lie on the grass, and look at the clouds. They notice that the clouds in the development all have the same shape. Gemma realizes that outside the development, the clouds have a different appearance. She goes to sleep crying at night. The next morning, Gemma looks out of the window and notices that Tom is still digging. When she goes to the child's room, she doesn't find him in his bed. She searches the entire house, but he's nowhere to be found. When she asks Tom about him while he's digging, he tells her he hasn't seen him. Gemma goes searching for him among the houses, but when she can't find him, she returns home and sees him standing next to the hole. When she asks where he was, he doesn't respond and hands her a book. Gemma enters the house, opens the book, and finds it filled with strange symbols and drawings similar to the videos the boy likes to watch. There are also illustrations of humans and how they are created and live together. At night, Tom sleeps in the hole, appearing tired and refusing to enter the house. Later, Gemma talks to the boy and asks him where he was in the morning. He explains he solved a puzzle and met someone but refuses to disclose their identity. Gemma then suspects playing the imitation game and the boy imitates Tom, copying his movements and speech. After that, he imitates Gemma. When she asks him to imitate the person he met today, he starts behaving strangely and his body undergoes peculiar changes. Gemma becomes frightened, cries, and tells him that she is not his mother and wants to go back home. However, he insists that she is indeed at home. Later, the boy transforms into a man. Gemma prepares food for him and the man politely asks her why she is respectful towards him. She explains that she is a bit scared of him. Afterwards, she takes the food to Tom's room and they eat together. Gemma apologizes to Tom for preventing him from killing the man when he was a child. The next day, Tom showers, revealing strange bruises on his back and difficulty walking. Afternoon comes and the man leaves the house. Gemma follows him to see where he goes, noticing that he disappears and reappears in different places. At night, Tom continues digging until he finds something unusual, a bag containing a body. Terrified, Tom quickly exits the hole. Meanwhile, Gemma is lost, unable to find her way back home. She calls out loudly to Tom, who hears her and calls back to her to let her know he is listening and asks her to come to him. However, Tom suddenly stops talking, overcome by exhaustion, and sits on the sidewalk. When Gemma reaches him, she is concerned about Tom being extremely tired. She takes him home, but the door is locked and the man inside refuses to open or respond to her. Gemma takes Tom to the car and lets him rest in it. The next morning, Tom's condition worsens and the man leaves the house, walking away. When Gemma asks him for help with Tom, he smiles and tells her it's time to release Tom. At that moment, Tom is lying on the ground in front of the house. Gemma sits with him and cradles him. She lights a cigarette and they reminisce about their lives before coming to this place and how they met each other. Suddenly, Tom dies and Gemma collapses beside him, not knowing what to do. She falls asleep next to him as he remains dead. Late at night, the man arrives with a box containing a bag to place Tom's body in. Gemma breaks down and the man imitates her. They put Tom's body in the bag and the man takes it, throwing it in the hole Tom had been digging. Gemma sleeps in the car and the next morning, as soon as she spots the man leaving the house, she grabs a shovel and chases after him to hit him. He manages to escape her and crawls on the ground like an animal until he reaches the sidewalk. Gemma supports herself with the shovel as he tries to go under the sidewalk. She leans it against him, also going under. Suddenly, Gemma finds herself sliding until she falls into a house with a strange red color. There, she discovers a peculiar child watching the same videos the previous child used to watch. She sees a woman sitting in the kitchen and starts crying. The ground opens and Gemma sinks into it, falling into a bathroom with a dead man submerged in blood. The ground swallows her again and she returns to house number 9, collapsing on the floor exhausted. She asks the man about their location, but he doesn't answer and claims that she is the mother of a child in this world. Gemma insists that she is not the mother, and the man puts her in a bag similar to the one Tom was in, throwing her into the same hole. He covers the hole and the grass returns as if there was never a hole there. The man then takes the car and goes to the real estate office. There, an elderly Martin is unable to move. The man takes Martin's name and hangs it on his shirt, and Martin dies. The man puts Martin in a body bag, places it in the trunk, and easily throws it down a staircase. Afterwards, the man sits in Martin's place waiting for another couple to take to the estate. With that, our movie comes to an end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and share it. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel, check out our previous videos, and stay tuned for upcoming ones. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and let us know in the comments what movie you would like to see next time. Thanks for watching and goodbye!